Unit 6, Object Manipulation, Part 2 of 2. Conveyance. There are several design characteristics of conveyor belts that are important for designers to consider. Conveyor configuration. The configuration of the conveyor belts is a huge part of how the system behaves. One simple configuration of this is a single conveyor belt in front of a flat wall. The belt contracts the balls on one side and rolls them on the opposite surface. Disadvantages of single conveyor belts. Since the balls are rolling, they move through the accumulator at half the speed of the conveyor belt. This setup is subject to jamming if two balls are picked up too closely together and they touch inside the conveyor. It is difficult to ensure that the conveyor will be able to provide the correct amount of frictional force on all objects inside. To maintain even frictional force on all the objects, a configuration with multiple independent rollers can be used. Independent rollers. In this setup, each of the rollers is linked to the power source. This system is less likely to jam, but is still subject to many of the problems found in the first setup. Using many rollers adds significant complexity. Two-belt conveyor. This setup is much less likely to jam since the balls no longer roll. The system is still susceptible to the varying friction of objects pushing the belts apart found in the first single-belt system, but it performs much better at the expense of two belts. Two rollers. This system should prevent jamming like the double-belt system, and should also provide consistent frictional force on the objects like a single-sided roller setup. It is much more complex. Design is all about trade-offs. What is the simplest solution to solve the problem? Designers will need to choose the configuration which works best to accumulate their specific object. Conveyor gearing. The accumulator intake is geared so that it pulls an object faster than the drivetrain at maximum speed. When it comes to conveyor gearing, faster is almost always better. Compression and elasticity. For belts and rollers to pull in an object, there must be some force pressing the belt onto the object. Finding the correct balance of grip on an object is sometimes difficult, especially when building an accumulator designed to pick up multiple objects at once. Design considerations. When deciding what type of object and accumulator to use on a robot, a designer has a number of specific considerations. Designers need to focus on how the object manipulator will be used in the real world. Some common questions to consider. What orientation will the object be picked up in? Does the gripper need to be able to grasp the object from multiple orientations? How will the gripper deposit the object? Does it need to deposit the object in multiple orientations? What orientation change does the object need to make between pickup and deposit? Design consideration. Any object manipulator or accumulator should maintain a firm grip on the object at all times during possession. They should be able to quickly and efficiently complete their tasks with minimum wasted motion. Effective design should focus on speed and efficiency, and, if possible, will not require precise positioning. Online videos to watch. Go to this link. You'll need to watch and take notes over the overview and videos 1 through 9 and the summary. I'll put this link in the video description and then come back and watch the rest of this video. Answer the following questions in your engineering notebook. Why would you choose one type of manipulator over another type? And how can your data from your test improve your redesign?